Game show, spread post-game show. Let's get you caught up on the action around the National Football League. Giants in Dallas. Well, it looks like the Giants are indeed serious, even with Roger Staubach in attendance.
Bring on the magic, Roger the Dodger. But it's Testaverde to Keyshawn Johnson, his first touchdown reception as a Cowboy. A 7-yarder, 7-3 Cowboys. And then Tiki Barber inside, breaks free down the left sideline. 58 yards to score. 10-6 Cowboys at this point. Later in that drive, Kurt Warner, look at the left of your screen, folks. That's the tight end, Jeremy Shockey, pushes off a little bit, 1-yard touchdown, 13-10 Giants. 4th and 1. Vinny Testaverde out of the eye, play action, into the flat, he finds Barnes. Darian Barnes, he's hit by Will Allen. No first down. 26-10 though, as Barber goes in, touchdown Giants. Awfully impressive on the road, 26-10. They beat the Dallas Cowboys.
Impressive indeed. The Giants off to their best start since 1993. Tiki Barber just under 200 total yards. Performance today, Jimmy. Give Tom Coughlin all the credit in the world and his squad.
Well, you know, all the controversy in the early part of the season about how some of the veterans were rebelling against Tom Coughlin. All the veterans are playing well. All the stars are playing well. Tiki Barber, he's holding on to the football. Longest streak as far as not fumbling the football, making the big plays in the passing game, running the football. Jeremy Shockey, a free spirit, he's making big plays. Kurt Warner being very efficient. Tom Coughlin's getting the job done.
Well, there were a lot more question marks. We talked about this in the pregame, and Pam Oliver covered it up there in her piece with the Giants. There were a lot more questions with this football team than there were answers as recently as the end of camp. The offensive line, who do you play at quarterback? How much does Kurt Warner have left in the tank? Can Tiki Barber hold on to the football? They have an influx of new players on defense, a number of them up front in the defense. I'd say he's done a great job.
TB?
What?
Profound thoughts indeed. I just wanted to embellish what Howie was making mention of in terms of Tiki Barber, showing in that Pam Oliver piece how he carries the football now so as not to expose it, and he demonstrated it nicely. Again, 118 yards on the ground for Tiki Barber. All right, let's move along and get you caught up on the next set of highlights. Detroit at Atlanta. Detroit looking for back-to-back road victories.
Michael Vick bringing the Falcons in 4-0, looking to get a franchise record 5-0 on the year. Done off tackle, 2-yard touchdown, 7-0 Atlanta. Back comes the Lions. Joey Harrington hits the quick post to Oz Hakeem, 39-yard touchdown. We're tied at 7-all. Then Mike Vick back, play action, turns his back, rolls around, throws down the middle. Alex Lewis there. It makes the interception. He will then return the interception down to the 2-yard line, where the 1-yard touchdown by Artos Penner will put the Lions up 14-7. Did you see rookie receiver Roy Williams, the #1 draft choice, has to leave ankle injury at this point, 17-10. It is a little over 2 minutes left in that football game. Lions on top of Atlanta.
And as I mentioned, the Lions looking for back-to-back road wins. They were 0-24 over the past 3 seasons. And Howie, I know while there's been an awful lot of criticism about the Lions and management there, they have got a foundation in place and doing it with a number of injured players as well.
Well, yeah, and it takes time. And I think when you're going to bring in an influx of new players, particularly young players, as Matt Millen has done up there, it takes time to develop those players. But I think when you talk about the Lions today, something we haven't talked about in recent years with the Detroit Lions is defense. They played so outstanding today on defense. Carr led the NFL in big plays, 20-plus yard plays in the NFL, more than Peyton Manning, more than Brett Favre, number of quarterbacks. This is an offense that have been putting points on the board, and the defense have been forcing turnovers.
Yeah, and defense have played very well against this Atlanta bunch today. And, you know, I was criticized a couple of weeks ago by saying the jury is still out on Michael Vick. I think the jury is still out because I
criticized you. Nobody around here criticized
a lot
you.
of people call me.
A lot of people. I agree with you about that.
I mean, really, you know, he's throwing interceptions. He was sacked 4 times. He really doesn't look like he's a fit in that offense right now.
I think Mike Vick will be fine.
Yeah, he will be.
As long as he's
the
running.
same people who were calling Terry called Jimmy. By the way, let's give Steve Mariucci some credit. The coach who certainly knows how to teach and doing a good job. All right, Minnesota at Houston. Dante Culpepper, league's leading passer, doing a nice job today.
Coming in with 8 touchdowns and 1 interception. Culpepper, top of your screen, finds Randy Moss on the quick slant. Touchdown, 1-yarder. 7-0 Vikings. Culpepper now to the left. Who does he find? In the corner, alley-oop, Marcus Robinson, 10-yarder, 21-0. Then Culpepper deep to Randy Moss. Deep down the right sideline. Take it all away, young'un. 50-yard touchdown, 14. It is Minnesota now over Houston. Now, Houston has scored a touchdown and the extra point, so now it's 28-21 Viking. 28-20, I'm sorry.
And interesting because Houston is 4-0 against NFC teams, but Minnesota looking good. Dante Culpepper doing a nice job. Randy Moss, league-leading 7th touchdown reception.
But, you know, Dante Culpepper really having a career year this year. He came into this game leading the league in passing efficiency, throwing touchdowns. He's, you know, really not fumbling the ball like he has in the past. And here he goes out there and throws touchdowns again today. Having a great year.
Well, and the big concern was they've lost a number of people at running back, and they lose Kleinsasser. He's such a big part of their run game as a blocking tight end, more essentially an offensive tackle. And then they lose Wiggins, guy who played for the Patriots a couple of years ago on their Super Bowl team. And here's a guy that was playing great for them. They lost him. Then they come out and they're one-dimensional, but they can throw the ball. And we talked about it in the pregame. They spread jet. Can run the ball.
If you can block and keep people off your quarterback and you've got great speed at wideouts, you can throw. This is now 33 straight games of 300-plus yards for the Vikings, which, by the way, is an NFL record.
Unfortunately, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers couldn't keep people off of Chris Sims, who was making his first pro start. Only played a couple of series in the first quarter, injured. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, let's get you caught up on that one, TB.
He actually goes 5 for 8 in this football game and looking pretty impressive. Back to pass. He will be sacked by Will Smith, and then he injures his left shoulder, lands on his left elbow, had to leave this football game. Now, Aaron Brooks then back to pass. Play action, nice job, sets up, guns this to Boo Williams. A 17-yard score, 7-3. It is New Orleans over Tampa Bay. Deuce McAllister, high ankle sprain, had missed the last 2 games. Ball is forced out of his hands by Greg Spires. He fumbles, recovered by Rondé Barber. 2 returns off of fumbles this year for touchdowns for Rondé. It's 13-7. Third quarter now. Greasy in. Brian Greasy, the backup quarterback this week. Brad Johnson, the former starter, was out delegated all the way down to 3rd string. Touchdown pass of 45 yards to tight end Ken Dilger. 20-17 with a little over 3 minutes remaining in that game. Tampa Bay on the road at New Orleans looking to get their first victory.
All right, with 3:12 left in that one. Indianapolis and Oakland.
All right, Peyton Manning. Ha! Every week we talk about it. It doesn't get any better. 35-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Wayne, making it 14-0. And then he hits tight end Dallas Clark out of Iowa, former first-rounder, 4-yarder. 28-14, 35-14 now is this football game. Colts over the Raiders.
All right, let's move along the scoreboard as well and take a look. I tell you what, the kid,
take your time here now. Take your time.
Doing it. Look, talking about Pittsburgh, we got to take our time. Ben Roethlisberger, 1:47 left. Pittsburgh on top, 34-23. Roethlisberger doing an outstanding job in New England.
All right, #1 rated quarterback in the NFL, Tom Brady. And here's why. Cool as a cucumber. Does that make sense? Cool as an ice cube. I don't care what it is. That's his nice shot. Touchdown pass, a 1-yarder to Graham. It's 7-0. And then play action, David Givens, end zone 5-yarder, 24-10. New England, don't forget, Fox NFL Sunday will be in New England next week if, in fact, New England goes on and takes care of them. Well, it's the final. There it is, folks. See you in Foxborough next week. Everybody get in your truck, get ready to travel. We're heading up there. Thought it'd be nice. Seattle's coming in. It's going to be a good game.
All right, Atlanta right now trailing Detroit by the score of 17-10, trying to keep the folks updated. 1 minute and 5 seconds left in this one. Atlanta's Michael Vick just got sacked. Well, that Detroit defense is certainly doing a nice job there. We'll keep you updated on this one as well. But again, the score 17-10. Detroit looking for back-to-back road wins, which will be outstanding. Jimmy, let's take a global look at the day. Which team do you want to talk about?
The global look, I think, is going to be for the New York Giants. You know, here you got Hall of Fame coaches in this division. You got great coaches, you know, Bill Parcells, Joe Gibbs, Andy Reid. Tom Coughlin's the guy that's getting the job done. You know, here you had a supposedly revolt at the start of the season. All the stars are playing well, and this team is a team to be reckoned with.
Well, Tom Coughlin is essentially Bill Parcells without the personality.
Are you saying he doesn't have personality?
No. Well, you know, trust me, when you come in 5 minutes late after 9 o'clock with Uncle Billy, you're grounded for life.
All right, I guess that's going to wrap it up right now for the Sprint Game Break Show. Let me let you know that your game, second half of the Fox doubleheader, coming your way right after this.
a beautiful Sunday afternoon in the Pacific Northwest as Fox Sports welcomes you to Seattle. A pivotal early season matchup in the NFC West as the unbeaten first place Seattle Seahawks get set to host the St. Louis Rams. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. Kenny Albert along with Brian Baldinger. Year 6 for Mike Holmgren here in Seattle, and the Seahawks are playing terrific football. They're off to a 3-0 start, Brian, and they've only allowed 13 points.
That means their defense is playing good, Kenny. Not just good, they're playing great. They're the #1 ranked defense in the National Football League. Coming into this weekend's action, they've only given up 1 touchdown, and really it's Ray Rhodes. And this is his second year here, and everywhere Ray goes, the defense gets better. He demands it. And right now in the secondary, they're playing very, very good. They've only given up 1 touchdown the whole year. There's the cornerbacks right there, Kenny Lucas and Marcus Trufant. These guys have played outstanding. They're a zone defense. And today, I think for the first time, they're really going to get tested in the secondary by this Rams offense.
Yes, the challenge for the #1 ranked defense of the Seahawks today, go out and stop the high-flying St. Louis Rams.
Yeah, and I think Mike Martz, the head coach, lives for these kind of games, a chance to really kind of showcase his passing game. He's the architect, but it's his quarterback, Mark Bulger, who's just gotten off to a fantastic start. You know, this is his first true year of starting. Came in as a starter. He's the starter. He's completing almost 70% of his passes. And he said he's just so sure of himself in this offense right now. Look for him to go down the field early and often today with the passing game. But, folks, we got a bonus treat for you here today. We've got the 2 best offensive linemen in the NFC on the field today. Orlando Pace from the Rams. He'll be going up against his old teammate Grant Wisdom. That should be a heck of a battle. And then for Seattle, Waller Jones might be the most dominant player in the NFL today. In 3 games so far this year, he's only been on the ground 1 time. That was the last play against Tampa. He's fired up to play and keep the Seattle Seahawks undefeated.
All right, Brian, who will put up big offensive numbers today for the Seahawks and the Rams? To check on how your fantasy team is doing, text message 63504 on your singular wireless phone or log on to foxsports.com.
1, 2, 3. Holla at your boy.
This ain't just another game. This is to put us up, baby. This is for legitimacy now. Let's go. Lines on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Seahawks looking to maintain their unbeaten record. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Lions and the Falcons. As we check out early scores, Giants make it 4 in a row. Falcons suffer their first loss. Buccaneers 21 seconds away from their first victory. And the New England Patriots have set a new National Football League record, their 19th consecutive victory, including the postseason.
Well, those Patriots see these Seahawks next week up in New England. Our Fox pregame show, Terry Howie and the boys will be up there from Foxborough, and the Seahawks would like to get there undefeated. But the Rams are in the way today.
Maurice Morris taking the Jeff Wilkins kickoff out to the 27-yard line. 24 yards on the return. Eric Flowers, the tackle on special teams. Matt Hasselbeck leading the Seahawks offense out in his 6th season out of Boston College. Walter Jones, Steve Hutchinson, left side of the line. Both went to the Pro Bowl last season. Sean Alexander tied for the NFL lead with 6 touchdowns. Seahawks start from their own 26. Play action on first down, and the pass is caught by the tight end Jeremy Stevens out of the 32. Gain of 6. Setting up second down and 4. Defensively, Rams ranked 27th under new coordinator Larry Moreeeee, who replaced the Bears head coach Lovie Smith. Leonard Little, 12.5 sacks a year ago. Polly Thomas and Tino Samoa, the linebacking core for St. Louis. Rich Cody starting for Adam Archuleta, although Archuleta will play. Hasselbeck dumps it off to the fullback, Max Strong. Robert Thomas made the tackle, looks to be just shy. But the Seahawks get the spot from referee Pete Morelli. Favorable spot, so Seattle picks up the first down.
Kenny, this is a big game today for both teams. I mean, for Seattle, they want to stay undefeated. They haven't really been tested so far this year. You know, played Tampa Bay, played San Francisco, played a bad New Orleans team the first week. Matt Hasselbeck said they have been setting up for this game the first month of the season.
3 wide receivers set. Seahawks from the 36, and the inside handoff to Sean Alexander. Alexander gaining 7 out to the 43-yard line before he was brought down by Tommy Polley. So a 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Seahawks. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints just underway
Right here now.
here in Seattle. 2nd and 3 for the Seahawks from the 43. And Seattle able to move the chains once again. Catch by the tight end, Atula Mealy, for the Seattle first down.
Well, the Tampa Bay Bucks got their first win of the year. Congratulations to John Gruden. He hasn't slept much in the first month of the season. The weakness of the St. Louis Rams defense is right in the middle. The middle of their defensive line. Teams have been able to run the ball against them. That's where Seattle will attack in the running game as they come out in their 3 wide receiver set here.
Hasselbeck has completed his first 3 pass attempts. Stretch play, Alexander into Rams territory. Gain of 3 down to the 47-yard line, forced out of bounds by Tommy Polley.
Seahawks are coming off a bye week, so a lot of them got a chance to have a couple of days off. Mike Holmgren here in Seattle has been a little nice to these guys. They had 4 days off. Sean Alexander was a guest on our pregame show last week in Los Angeles. Always in a good mood, always happy. He told us on Friday when we visited that they haven't begun to put in a lot of plays in the offense yet because they haven't had to. They haven't really been challenged. And so today I think you'll see a little bit more in the running game than what they've shown, which is basically 3 running plays so far.
2nd down and 7. Hasselbeck to the air. First down. Catch is made by Darrell Jackson at the Rams 37-yard line for a gain of 10.
Well, here's the question mark for the Seattle Seahawks game, for the whole team, is are these receivers, and Darrell Jackson out here on the outside, are they good enough right now to get to the Super Bowl? Are they good enough to win big games? Because they have a long history of dropping a lot of passes. It frustrates Matt Hasselbeck. You can see how accurate and pinpoint he's been early in this game. But the receivers have dropped a lot of passes.
Jackson, the Seahawks leading receiver, that was his 20th reception this season. Hasselbeck, 4 of 4. Can't find anyone downfield, and now throws it away. Bounced in front of the intended receiver, the tight end, Jeremy Stevens.
Well, that's really the strength of Hasselbeck right there. The ability to get out of the pocket. He's a good athlete. He throws the ball well on the run. Mike Holmgren in that menu of plays right there has certain plays for him built in to move him. You know, make the defense chase, make them run after him. Pretty good athlete, though, out of the pocket.
Now remember, this a Rams defense that led the league in takeaways last season, but this year they've only forced the opposition to turn the ball over twice in 4 games. Alexander inside the 20, inside the 10, finally forced out of bounds at the 4-yard line. A 33-yard pickup, and he was finally chased down by the 14-year veteran, Aeneas Williams.
Well, he thinks he runs behind the best offensive line in football, and he ran behind the best left side here in Hutchinson and Walter Jones. And the fullback, Max Strong. All 3 players created that hole and opening for Alexander. Terrific right at the point of attack. Alexander said it's as healthy as he's been in a while as the side judge gets knocked down the hardest he's been hit so far in this game.
Side judge Rob Bernacchi. That the longest run of the season by Alexander, 33 yards. First and goal from the 4, and Alexander bottled up at the 1 after a gain of 3.
You know, Kenny, Alexander got hurt at the end of the first game against New Orleans, down in New Orleans, and had a bone bruise, and he said it was really severe. And it's been troubling him with the bye week. It's gotten healthy, and he looks fresher right now.
Alexander, a touchdown machine. He's already scored 6 in 3 games this year. In his last 24 games here at home, he has scored 32 touchdowns.
Well, the first time he ever scored a touchdown was when he was 7 years old. He ran a kickoff back for a touchdown. And he said, how do I do that more? And he said, try running back. You get to touch the ball a lot more.
Here's Alexander. His 7th touchdown this season.
Kenny, if this is a statement game for the Seattle Seahawks, that was a statement drive to start the game. That's about as well executed a drive. 10 plays, 74 yards, a little bit over 5 minutes as you can start a game with.
So the Seahawks, who have not trailed at any point in any game this season, score on their opening drive. Josh Brown adds the extra point. Seahawks won the toss, drive 74 yards, and have taken a 7-0 lead over their division rivals, the St. Louis Rams.
Oh, he's sitting next to Max Strong. Max Strong's the fullback on this play. Going to take it just a straight dive right over the right side behind Floyd Womack there, who they bring in as an extra blocker. Chris Gray, the pork chop. He ran right behind the pork chop. Womack and his fullback Strong. A couple good sounding names in there. You're talking about a tough yard, you know. Max Strong, pork chop, Womack. Those are that's the kind of bodies you want to run behind.
I don't think there is a more appropriate name for a fullback in all of football than Max Strong.
No, he's been an amazing, everywhere Max Strong goes, runners just, have great seasons. Ricky Waters was here. He was the lead blocker for Terrell Davis at Georgia and Garrison Hurst at Georgia. Sean Alexander feels fortunate to have him as his fullback. And he's in his 12th year. Most fullbacks never last that long.
12 years with one team.
Yeah, that's another thing, the year of free agency.
Mike Holmgren says Max Strong is the most unselfish player he has ever been around.
Fullbacks generally have to be unselfish because they're not going to touch the ball a whole lot. They have to enjoy being the lead blocker and not getting much glory.
Josh Brown kicks it off, taken at the 10. Marlon Harris scoops it up and then is forced back. So a terrific job on special teams by the Seahawks with number 59, Tracy White, leading the way. So Mark Bulger leads the Rams offense out onto the field. He's completed 69% of his passes, 3rd in the NFL. Orlando Pace, the perennial Pro Bowler at left tackle. Scott Tercero starting for the injured Chris Dishman. The great Marshall Faulk in the backfield. Torrey Holt led the NFL in receptions last year. Isaac Bruce leads the league this season. Rams start from the 19-yard line. Here's Faulk up the middle. Out to the 23-yard line, a gain of 4. Isaiah Kazavensky made the tackle for the Seahawks. Their defensive unit ranked 1st in the entire league. Grant Wistrom playing against his former team for the first time after 6 years in St. Louis. Kazavensky with Huff and Simmons. And a terrific young secondary. Vieira leading Seattle in tackles through 3 games.
This crowd here is yelling defense on the second play of the game. I mean, they're fired up out here.
2nd and 5. Bulger faked the toss, and his pass incomplete. It fell in between Torrey Holt and Cam Cleland. 3rd and 5 coming up as we check in for the first time with James Brown.
Kenny and Brian, Minnesota was on top of Houston 21-0, but the Texans have battled back. Take a look at David Carr hooking up with Andre Johnson. 12 catches, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, all knotted at 28, and we are now in overtime. Houston is 4-0 against the NFC at home. Back to Kenny and Brian.
Maybe Houston trying to win 3 games in a row now. Wonder what happens to David Carr, the quarterback, if he wins 3 in a row.
Got a haircut last week after winning their 2nd straight for the first time. 4 wide receivers out. Penalty marker, and the pass was behind the intended receiver, Isaac Bruce.
He had another penalty flag just came out.
Bulger was hit late. That was the second flag.
Well, Isaac Bruce dropped a pass there. I haven't seen Isaac Bruce drop a pass all year. Holding against St. Louis. Mike said that the question mark on his team right now is his offensive line. They've had to bring in 4 new offensive linemen to start the season.
Illegal formation, number 84. That penalty is declined. Holding, number 63 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Now Sean McDonald guilty of illegal procedure. Scott Cicero at left guard guilty of the hold. Mark Bulger has put up gaudy numbers, but the question mark, can you protect him well enough to get the ball down the field? And we haven't seen any balls hit Ike Bruce's hands this year. He leads the National Football League in receiving right now, coming into this week's action.
Bobby Ingram back deep for the Seahawks. Sean Landeta in his 20th NFL season. He has punted more than anybody in league history. Ingram backpedaling to the 26. 2 flags. 8-yard return out to the 34-yard line. 50-yard punt by Landeta.
Injury to Dwight Anderson, rookie. Illegal man down the field for the Rams. Tripped up at the end of that play.
During the return, illegal block in the back. 28, receiving team. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
That's Michael Boulware called for the penalty, the rookie out of Florida State.
Yeah, here's the block right here. Boulware. These teams don't like each other. I mean, this has a rivalry feel to it. You know, both games last year were decided in the last minute of the game. In fact, the last 4 times these 2 teams have played, they split 2 wins, 2-2. Bad blood between these 2 teams, and that it exists in a good rivalry.
Grant Wistrom told us on Friday, as a Ram, I flat out dislike the Seahawks.
And now he's wearing that Seahawk jersey. You know, when Grant Wistrom was in St. Louis, their rivalry was New Orleans. You know, and then when Seattle got good and the realignment took place and they went to the NFC West, it was natural. Holmgren and March, 2 offensive-minded guys, 2 good offenses. That became the rivalry.
Mike March told us last night when we asked him about Grant Wistrom, he said, hey, I'm happy for him, just like when Ray Bly left for Detroit. I feel good that these guys were able to get the big contracts, but deep down, they're still Rams.
Yeah. Well, Mike March said he was going to go up to Grant Wistrom before the game and tell him to come on in the locker room and put a Ram uniform on. He's brought a great presence to the Seahawks team. You know, he just has a great work ethic. He's upbeat every day. You know, he does the right things. He's a good teammate. Guys like him.
Said hello to so many of his former teammates prior to the game today. Following the penalty, Seahawks start from their own 22-yard line. Seattle leading 7-0. Alexander on 1st down. Tries to turn the corner, gains just 1 out of Archuleta. In on the tackle, playing with the injured back and hamstring.
But they need him in there to stop the run right now. So that's what he was. On that last play, he cheated up into the box. You see Archuleta sitting right here. He's sitting up here. He's just waiting at the line of scrimmage to try to shut down the run. Now, when you play run defenses like that, that's the time to start passing. You only have 3 defensive backs in the game, and that's the time to attack.
Second down and 9, 4 receivers set. Hasselbeck incomplete. Ingram usually sure-handed, unable to come down with it.
Well, you know, Bobby was in the slot that time. He was in the left slot. And whether he's the first read or not, that's Hasselbeck's favorite player to throw the ball to because he has been so dependable. And he said he studies the game the way a quarterback studies the game. He knows how to get open. He's very, very good working the middle of the field. For him to drop that pass, that's unusual.
3rd down and 9. Seahawks have to get to the 32-yard line for a first down.
Here's the guy they got to block out here, Leonard Little.
Pass is short, intended for the fullback back strong, so the Seahawks send out the punting unit.
Well, you know, there it is. The drop to Ingram, I thought, was the key play in that drive. That got him into a 3rd and 9, allowed St. Louis to come after him a little bit, got the hit on Hasselbeck. But that's what Seattle is going to have to overcome. If they want to be thought about with the Philadelphia Eagles right now, with the undefeated New England Patriots, I think their receivers have to prove that they can catch the football consistently.
Seahawks among the league leaders in dropped passes last season. Tom Ruin punting for the first time. Sean McDonald back deep, and it takes a Rams bounce into Seahawks territory. Only a 24-yard punt by Ruin. Terrific field position here for the Rams.
You know, we're talking to Mike Martz about Ray Rhodes and what it's like going against his defenses. And he said that in all 4 games that he's played against Ray Rhodes, he said he's had a different defense every time. He's not really sure what he's going to do. And so right now, there's a feeling out process. You know, in the early rounds of this game right now, he's trying to figure out what Ray Rhodes is doing. Is he playing zone? Is he playing man? Is he blitzing? And once he gets a feel for Ray, I think Mike Martz will adjust how he attacks him.
And Martz told us, I'm always nervous in the first quarter when I don't know what the game plan is of the opponent. From the 47 on first down, Marshall Faulk, gain of just 1 down to the 46. Anthony Simmons, the first Seahawk, in on the tackle.
Well, here's what Ray Rhodes' defenses has done. Rhodes to success with the Packers, the 49ers. You see where they were before Rhodes and then later on. He's never had a #1 ranked defense like he has right now.
Seahawks last season in Ray's first year here in Seattle finished 19th defensively. 2nd down and 9 from the Seahawks 46. Second offensive possession for the Rams. Faulk brought down at the 42-yard line after a gain of 4 by Ken Hamlin and Marcus Trufant.
See, now Marshall Faulk shouldn't get into a scuffle on the Seahawks sideline. You know, not with some help. There's some big help, some linemen, some bodyguards over there with him. Marshall Faulk is running the ball as well as he has in the last 4 years. See the shift and the change of direction and the change of speeds right now? He's healthy right now. He's healthy, and he worked his butt off in the offseason. His running back coach, Wilbert Montgomery, the former Eagle, is responsible for working him out and keeping him shaped to be able to take on the scuffles on the sideline.
Not many friends on that side. 3rd down and 4. Bulger airing it out, looking for Holt, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Ken Lucas.
Well, the secondary has not been tested. They were anxious to play the Rams today because they knew the Rams were going to get the ball down the field. But Mark Bulger gets time because watch what Orlando Pace does on the outside to Grant Wistrell. The play is over, folks. He's wired. Bulger has all kinds of time to throw this ball. But watch Kenny Lucas play this ball in the air. Isaac Bruce does a double move on him. He never bites. Plays the ball up to the highest point in the air. Never allows Bruce to come back for the ball.
Second pick of the year for Lucas and for Bulger, who has not completed a pass to a teammate today. His first interception, his last 81 pass attempts. 2 flags as this pass is caught by Darrell Jackson, brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
One thing about Mark Bulger, you know, he went to see the presidential debates the other day in St. Louis at Washington University, watching Bush and Kerry going at it. He didn't get much of a rise out of that. It's hard to knock that guy off his perch.
Number defense, left hand, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
The debate took place Friday night in St. Louis at Washington University.
Leonard Little is the guy that the Seahawks have to pay attention to every single play. He's a dynamic player, and St. Louis right now is lining him up all over the field. They line him up at linebacker, at defensive end. They're moving him around to try to free him up. He's their one big chess piece on defense right now. And he can create havoc if you don't have a good game plan for him.
Double digits in sacks each of the last 3 years. 1st and 5. Alexander bottled up by Damian Lewis. Gain of just 1, setting up 2nd down and 4. So the Seahawks, who marched 74 yards in 10 plays on their opening drive, coming into the game today, they have not trailed. They have not been behind all season. They have been in the lead for the most part in all 3 games, and they lead here today 7-0. Pass caught at the 29-yard line by the tight end Jeremy Stevens. Rich Cody the tackle, as we say hello one more time to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Kenny, bottom of the 9th, 2-on. John Smoltz on the mound. Jeff Kent grounds into the game-winning double play. Kenny, it sends this series to a decisive Game 5 tomorrow in Atlanta on Fox. Time to be determined based on the Cardinals-Dodgers outcome. Back to Kenny.
Well, the Astros have never won a playoff series. They had a chance to clinch today, but the Braves sent it to a Game 5. Hasselbeck escapes, throws, complete. Warren Robinson broke a tackle and takes it up to the 45-yard line. Picks up a Seattle 1st down.
Some really good individual playmaking right there by Hasselbeck, showing his elusiveness, being able to break the tackle out here of Tyoka Jackson. Nice job right there, getting away from that tackle, staying alive. Thinking about Matt Hasselbeck in his offense, you know, he's been in it for a long time. He knows where safety valves are. He knows where all the receivers are supposed to be. Very familiar with him.
Ruling on the field, Robinson stepped out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Maurice Morris backs up Sean Alexander, gain of 3. Out to the 42, his first carry today. Rich Cody made the tackle.
You know, the Seattle Seahawks are stuck up here in the Pacific Northwest. They don't get a lot of national exposure right now. I think a lot of people here in this country, the last time they saw Matt Hasselbeck was that interception in overtime against Green Bay. Al Harris ran it back for the touchdown. The Seahawks season was over at that point. And, you know, Hasselbeck said that was a learning experience. He threw a ball he shouldn't have thrown. Hopefully when he gets in that position the next time, he won't do that. And you just hope that you just take away all the painful experiences and turn them into positive.
Alexander into Rams territory. In fact, Hasselbeck threw that interception against his former team. He backed up Brett Favre for 2 years up in Green Bay. And we take you back to the playoffs.
Hey, Seattle has won the ball. We won the ball, we're going to score.
Well, here it is. Hasselbeck picked off by Al Harris. Takes it back 52 yards. Packers win the game in overtime, 33-27. Down to the 46-yard line. Max Strong. Ironically, both of these teams made the playoffs. And then in January, they both lost in overtime. Rams losing at home in double overtime to Carolina.
Yeah, you know, that man right there, Walter Jones, he told his teammates that he'll see everybody on September 1st after that loss in the locker room. And, you know, he's a guy that doesn't come to camp. He's got that franchise tag. He's waiting for the big contract. 3 years in a row now, he has stayed home for training camp.
Hasselbeck looking for Warren Robinson, and it's off his fingertips. Juan Gross on the coverage.
In order to get the ball down the field to Warren Robinson, you've got to protect it. Watch Walter Jones here on this protection. Here he is at left tackle, so steady and consistent. And does it come? He comes out, he blocks 2 other guys. He's out there looking for work. It's what they want from Warren Robinson, to make the spectacular catch because he has such great ability. He'll go up and make those kind of catches and then drop easy balls right to him.
He has had some of his best days against the St. Louis Rams. 2nd and 10. Hasselbeck dumping it off to Max Strong. Strong takes it down to the 42-yard line. Gain of 4. Tommy Polley made the tackle.
No, we're looking at Walter Jones, and you know, Mike Holmgren has told me many times that if he was to start a franchise from scratch, the first player he would take is Walter Jones, the left tackle. You know, and he protects the backside of the quarterback. He's never on the ground. He wins his battles quickly, and he's just a phenomenal athlete. The feet are always underneath him. He doesn't come to training camp. Comes in the first week of the season, and he starts, and he picks right up where he left off, which is the Pro Bowl the last 4 seasons.
Seahawks have to get to the 36. And the play blown dead. Flags prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap, false start, 72 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Chris Terry, the right tackle.
Chris Terry, brought in here a couple of years ago, was released by Carolina, has really helped solidify this offensive line, the one that Sean Alexander says is the best in the NFL right now. His job is to really protect against Leonard Little, which may be the most feared pass rusher in the NFC today.
4 wide receivers set. 3rd down and 11. Seahawks have to get to the 36. And they keep it on the ground. Max Strong needed 11, gained 12.
Well, that's a crippling blow to this defense on 3rd and 11, Kenny. They give up a fullback dive up the middle for 11 yards, right at the weakness of this defense, right in the middle. One right inside at Damian Lewis. And that's where teams, I mean, he's Samoa, you know, kind of a small linebacker inside there. Tommy Polley running right at the teeth of this defense.
From the 35, Hasselbeck rolling right. Bobby Ingram forced out by Demetrius Butler after a short gain. Time winding down in this first quarter. Seahawks won the toss. Marched 10 plays, 74 yards. Sean Alexander took it in from 1 yard out. First quarter comes to an end with the Seattle Seahawks at 3-0. They've won 10 consecutive games here at home. And the Seahawks dominating in time of possession, leading the Rams after one, 7-0.
As the Giants